Hi, I'm Patrick Weinert, founder of The Money Mission, and I help people like you achieve success with your finances so you can lead a more fulfilling life. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about the long-range plan for you, right? What are we really capable of doing when we put together a great saving and investment plan? But before we get to that, I want to recap some of what we went over in our previous videos. First, I just want to say thank you again for all the amazing comments and questions that I've been getting. I've really been overwhelmed by the number of positive comments and compliments that I've gotten on these videos, and I'm thrilled to know that I'm bringing you a lot of value. I'm also really intrigued by all the questions, very thought-provoking questions that I've been getting, and I will continue to incorporate those into these videos to make sure that I'm answering your questions. So in our last few videos, I talked to you a little bit about the opportunity that I want to share with you in this series of videos, right? Helping you get to your financial goals faster. We covered a little bit about my background and my success managing the Marine Corps' budget, and then also, using technology and some specific techniques that we need to look at in order to help you with your game plan, specifically budgeting applications, getting clear on what your retirement savings plan is, and then also, talking a little bit about how the wealthy save so that we can get a better return on investment of all the saving that we do. In the video today, I want to talk about your long-range plan, and I want to talk a little bit about a concept that's called zero-based budgeting. So, first of all, I don't want budgeting to be something that's a drudgery for you, right? I don't want you poring over spreadsheets and paper and pencil in hand trying to figure this stuff out. It should be simple. And if you're spending any more than 15 minutes on a given day, maybe looking at your budget, you're spending too much time on it. So we want to keep it simple and to a certain degree enjoyable because you're making progress. But what I want to do is talk with you about the concept of zero-based budgeting. And this is a concept that has helped me tremendously achieve success, and others too. And I'm going to share some of these stories with you. So when I first was asked to manage the Marine Corps' budget, at that time, there were some challenges that we faced as a service. Congress was actually reducing the amount of money that we were getting, so we had less income, right? If you're comparing this to like an individual personal budget. The other thing was that we were being told we had increased responsibilities. So Congress was saying, hey, we need you to go ahead and take care of all those commitments overseas you have, to all of our friends and allies. We also need you to maintain your current equipment, but we want you to buy some new stuff too. Oh, and we're not going to give you any more money for it. This was a pretty big challenge, needless to say. But the team that I led used the concept of zero-based budgeting during the time that we put this plan together in order to achieve some major success. We looked at each individual program and we really tried to figure out, is the stuff that's in this program really essential for the service's mission? And if it's not, in some cases, it just had to go. There were a lot of unhappy program managers who had gotten some of their budgets cut. But what zero-based budgeting does is it helps a budgeter look at the money, the resources that he or she has at their disposal, and really get clear on whether or not that element of their resources, whether or not that's really valid anymore, right? So you would use zero-based budgeting in your own individual budget to validate each part of that. So for instance, if you had a cell phone plan with 4 gigs of data every year, but you're not using that much anymore, you'd look at that part and say, hey, maybe we can reduce that cost and save some money that way. So we experienced some major success. During that year, not only were we able to maintain all of our commitments overseas and maintain our equipment, but we were also able to buy new equipment. And this was equipment that was very important for the Marine Corps and for the future of our armed services. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to have the same success with zero-based budgeting that I did, okay? I can't guarantee you that. I don't necessarily know all the details of your own personal financial situation. And as they always like to say, past performance does not guarantee future results. So what I want to emphasize with you is that this is a valid method. It's a valid system. And if we work together, I know that we could aim at getting some pretty great financial goals accomplished for you. There's another example I can use, and that's my friend David. This is kind of going to more of a personal budget. David, first, when he left college, had $150,000 in student loan debt. I mean, talk about crushing debt. But David was disciplined, and he applied the concepts of zero-based budgeting, and within 9 years, not only had he paid all of that debt off, but he had $250,000 in savings. I mean, talk about a turnaround. And this is, like I said, applying the principles that we are talking about here. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to be the same, but you can see what's possible when we apply, these principles. Budgeting is difficult. I'm not denying that. But, I think it's very, very important that, when we enter this phase of figuring out what your long-range plan is, that we realize what is realistic. In our last video, I gave you some homework to, see if you can come up with $100 in savings. How much do you think, if you started at the age of 22 and you saved until you were 68, and you saved just $100 a month, how much money do you think you'd have by the time you were 68? I know it may be hard to believe, but you'd have, assuming, standard stock market returns, you would have over $1 million. That's just saving $100 a month. Now, look, I realize you're probably not 22 years old. And if you are, good for you for watching this video now and taking action early. But this is designed to help you realize that even if you're later in life, even if you're not 22, even if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, it doesn't matter what your age, you can still accomplish some amazing goals if you do some saving. And so that's why what I want to do is I want to encourage you to go back to that task that I gave you and try to find $100 if you haven't done that already. And what I'm going to do too is encourage you to use another tool. There's a link below this video that will give you access to download the Money Mission Game Plan Workbook. What I want you to do is take that workbook and look at it. And don't make it overly complicated. But just take a look at your income and then take a look at your expenses and see if there's some way that you can find some savings in your budget. One example that I can think of to give you an example just right off the bat are meal kits. Meal kits, there are a lot of meal kit companies that are in existence now. There are a few I can think of like Blue Apron, HelloFresh. I think even Walmart has rolled out their own line. But what you can do with meal kits is if you order them, a lot of these companies will give you a pretty substantial discount right up front. Order a meal kit for a month, and not only are you potentially going to save money on food, it's all going to be prepackaged, so you don't have to go looking in grocery stores for the ingredients, which saves you time. You may not even need to go to the grocery store now since it's delivered to your home, so it saves you time and gas for the car. And plus it'll be maybe a little bit of a stress reliever, right? You can cook dinner at home, maybe with your family. It can be a fun experience. And this, even though it's not a permanent thing, it'll give you a little bit of breathing room, right? It'll save you a little bit of money in order to find a way to get more out of your budget. If you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Balance Your Budget, I want to offer a copy to you for free. This will be a gift as a thank you for joining me in this video series. Send me an email to the Money Mission newsletter email account, and I'll respond with this to you. And I want you to use 2 items in that book in order to come up with your $100 a month that you're going to save. And if you're already saving $100, good for you. See if you can get even more. In our next video, I'm going to talk to you about our upcoming teleseminar series. I am really excited to share this with you. But in this teleseminar series, we are going to go through so much of this material in greater detail. We're going to go deeper with your own personal, potential debt issues, with your budget, with your savings plan, and with your investment plan. We're going to get the most out of your money. Like I said, I'm really excited to share this with you because we're going to talk about a lot of topics that have been brought up, in some cases by you, and we're going to address those. Some of the topics that we're going to cover are going to include, ways to repair your credit, ways to get out of debt faster. For homeowners, and particularly for retirees, hey, is it smarter to stay in your home, or is it smarter to sell your home and maybe move to a retirement community? Is it a good time for you to buy a home? What's the best investment plan for you right now based on your age and your risk tolerance? So now, if you're not able to be a part of this teleseminar series, I at least encourage you to go and research these topics, right? I mean, we're going to cover all this stuff in the series, but if you can't be a part, go research these topics because I want to continue helping you get to your financial goals faster. So just so you know, the teleseminar series, it's only going to be offered for a few days. So keep a lookout for that email in the next few days and be sure to sign up. Please post any comments, questions, any thoughts that you have. Either do it via social media, put it here on the site, or send me an email. I always enjoy getting your thoughts and questions, and I really enjoy responding to them. And until the next video, I wish you unlimited success.